fantastic. Well, welcome. This is our Galfrey Pirate Radio. Going from what's that?
Wave at the camera.
You had a table right as you were walking down the.
Hi, camera. This is my butt. This is a really odd thing. You're filming us watching the video. Anyway,
it will flip around when we actually get to that part.
This evening from 8 to 9, we'll be bringing a live performance of Galfrey Pirate Radio. We're going to start off by watching The Curse of Fatal Death. This is the 1999 Children in Need special, surprisingly enough, written by Stephen Moffat. This is Stephen Moffat's first go at Doctor Who, and really has re-energized the ideas of whether or not they could actually come up with a Doctor Who show again before they offered it to Davies in 2005. This, for me, was pretty cool because after 1996 Paul McGann movie, Enemy Within, it was only 3 short years until this, so that's the only Doctor Who we had from 1989 to 2005. So think about that. That's kind of horrifying. But we had 2 really quality things. Assuming you liked the movie, which I did. Raise your hand if you have seen The Curse of Fatal Death before.
Woo!
Raise your hand if you have not seen The Curse of Fatal Death before. You are in for you really have never seen The Curse of Fatal Death. All right.
That's so funny.
Just to preface this slightly, in 2002 or 2003, before Christopher Eccleston was cast as the 9th Doctor, there was an animated Doctor Who short called The Scream of the Shulka, which will be released later this year on DVD.
And who was it written by?
Who was it written by?
Paul Cornell.
Paul Cornell, who also wrote The Family of Blood and Being Human, and a number of pretty cool novels for the New Adventures. Where was I? Oh, right. So, sorry. But he cast Richard E. Grant, and we saw him in The Snowman as the bad guy who really didn't do anything. It's true, he wasn't much of a part, but he played it really well. He was cast as the 9th Doctor, so he was officially the Doctor to follow Sylvester McCoy, though, of course, it was never part of a TV show, so we never actually saw that happen. But in 1999, he got yet another chance to play the Doctor. This is as star-studded as Doctor Who, especially as you guys can see, and I'm going to let Davey officially introduce the show.
Oh yes. Hello. We're coming from StellarCon, but
we're coming from StellarCon.
Oh.
Thank you for plugging my convention.
You're welcome, Mr. Ross. Sorry.
StellarCon 2014.
Yes. This is number 3 in a row for me, so my brain is really
for
much.
all of us, actually.
Yeah. Well, we are Galfrey Pirate Radio. I am your host, Davey Beauchamp. I am joined by
Angela Pritchett.
You know what? And Drew Meyer.
Yes. And we also have as special guests on this program this time,
Chris Ross, Kelly Yates, Steve Long.
Yes.
So we have as star-studded as a panel as they have in this show.
So.
Not really. But,
yeah.
All right, so without further ado,
we will get this show on the road. And yes, this is a treat.
This is awesome.
Kelly, right here. This one right here for you.
I saw him. The bench was there. That's why we're sitting there.
I have to wait. Tell me waiting.
Okay.
Do we have lights?
Lights.
We're gonna edit this part of the show out.
No, we're not. We never edit.
Where are the lights actually?
I don't know.
The panel, right?
That's a panel?
Yeah.
Nope. There we go.
Oh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is that coming through the speakers at all?
Yeah.
See, that's what a Doctor Who starting should look like.
Anything the voice does.
You are doomed, Doctor. Doomed! You are piloting your TARDIS into a deadly trap, and even you will not suspect until it's far too late.
Now, if you're going to spy on me, you really should turn the speaker off.
My dear Doctor, after many centuries of conflict, naturally I wished you to know that your certain death is now certain. But even you will never suspect But your destruction awaits you on planet Zaston 4.
You only turned the picture off, I'm afraid. I can still hear you.
I know that. Of course I know that. Curse you!
And I wanted to talk to you anyway. I have some news that even my arch enemy needs to hear. Meet me on the planet Tercerus in 2 hours relative time. And do try not to be late.
Mock me while you may, Doctor. My revenge will be all the sweeter. And it will be a deadly vengeance. It will be the deadly vengeance of deadly revenge!
Brilliant acting.
Where are we, Doctor?
The planet Tercerus. Once home to the Tercerons. The most kindly and peace-loving race I've ever encountered. And yet the most shunned and abhorred species in all history.
Why?
They could communicate only by precisely modulated gastric emission.
Oh no! Planets of the bottom burgers. So what happened to them?
They discovered fire.
No doubt, because no one has set foot on this planet for 100 years, you thought you had escaped by traps of death. But you forget, Doctor. I, too, have a TARDIS. When you told me to meet you at Castle Tercerus, I simply traveled back in time 100 years. And I bribed the architect. Say hello to the spikes of doom.
Say hello to the sofa of reasonable comfort. Naturally, I anticipated your journey back in time, and so I traveled slightly further back and bribed the architect first.
Or so you think. Naturally, I anticipated your traveling back in time, so I traveled back in time to an even further point. And I bribed the architect first.
Well, naturally, I anticipated your journey back to an even earlier point.
Doctor, will you stop showing off? You've got something to tell the Master. Just tell him.
Very well. I recently calculated that I have saved every planet in the known universe a minimum of 27 times. But you know, I have grown weary of all the evil in the cosmos, all the cruelty, all the suffering, all those endless gravel quarries. And so I have decided to retire, settle down, and get married.
What?
Yes, without even knowing I was looking, I have found a woman to love. A woman more fascinating than all my travels through time and space. A girl more exciting than an escape up a ventilation shaft. A lover more thrilling than an army of cybernetic slugs.
No. Sadly, Doctor, I cannot wish you a long and happy marriage. Because the moment I'm done with this nauseating conversation, I shall travel back in time once more and buy the architect an expensive dinner and suggest he fits a lever just here and a trapdoor leading to the vast and disgusting sewers of Tercerus. Exactly there. Prepare for 500 miles of fear and feces. Goodbye forever, Mr. and Mrs. Doctor.
Since you appear to have fallen down a sewer, you won't be able to have dinner with the architect. Although, in fact, he's already eaten, because I had dinner with him and suggested he place the trapdoor right here. Oh, keep along, my dear.
Not so fast.
How could he be here? He just fell in the sewers. And why is he so much older?
Because it's taken me 312 years to climb out of those sewers.
And then naturally you found your TARDIS and travelled back in time to the present day. No doubt to wreak one of your terrible revenge things.
Yes. But this time, I did not come alone.
Reminds me of the first time that we have seen Daleks since 1989.
After 3 centuries of climbing through those sewers, only the Daleks would accompany me. Because only the Daleks don't have noses. So, Doctor, we meet again!
Yes. How are things?
Observe, Doctor. I am no longer merely a Time Lord. My body has been augmented by superior Dalek technology.
So what can you do with that then?
What?
You don't know, do you?
Exterminate! 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 No! After 312 years of climbing through the biggest and most disgusting sewers in the cosmos, after 3 centuries of wading through those vast, steamy lakes, climbing those huge, squelchy mountains, after a lifetime of only dung slugs for food, and the occasional company on those long, lonely nights.
Oh,
After all that, I'm going to kill the Doctor myself, with my own bare hands. Die, Doctor! Die!
Don't worry. I believe he knows where.
oh.
624 years in a sounding sewer.
This way.
Get 936 years in a sewer. Wait for me. Wait for me.
These corridors are not the same.
We should be safe in here.
A tour of the sewers.
This time, I did not come alone. Die, Doctor! Die! After him, you fools! Get down!
These corridors are not the same.
We should be safe in here.
So, given that exterminating you would be the most sensible thing to do, why did they always change their minds at the last moment?
I'll explain later.
Behold! Once again, I have been augmented by superior Dalek technology, rejuvenating my physical form and granting me even more power over the cosmos.
And I notice breasts.
They're not breasts, okay? They're Dalek bumps. They can detect ion-charged emissions and operate as etheric beam locators at a distance of up to 20,000 light years. They're also extremely firm.
What are you trying to say?
Nothing.
Why are the Daleks helping you? What are you giving them in return?
I have
Daleks will be able to conquer the entire universe within minutes.
With just a beam. How?
I'll explain later.
Prepare to open the electronic beam in 5 Dalek minutes. I obey.
You may conquer the universe, but you'll have to share it with the beard and the bosoms over there.
The Master will be exterminated when he has served his purpose.
If the Master knew that the Daleks intend to kill him, he might help us.
How are you going to tell him without the Daleks hearing? They'll exterminate you on the spot if you say anything. I think we've really had it this time.
Don't cancel our wedding yet, my darling. There's just one thing you've forgotten.
What?
Daleks don't have noses.
Scraping the barrel a bit there, aren't you?
Think, my dear. Back on Tercerus, the Master and I both bribed the castle architect. Not only do I speak perfect Terceran, but so does he.
You mean?
Yes. I can communicate with the Master by carefully controlled breaking of wind.
Could I be tied to a different chair?
Silence.
Why do you have chairs on a Dalek spaceship anyway?
We will explain later. Danger. You are facing certain doom. Certain doom?
Try not to clench.
The Daleks are planning to exterminate you as soon as you directly breathe.
Sorry, that was me.
Communication! You have betrayed the Daleks! Exterminate! This electronic beam controller will now not only explode, it will implode! We're doomed! Prepare the sectronic beam! It is beyond my ability. Only the Doctor can do it.
Help him! He's dying! Yes, my darling.
He says I love you.
Oh, Doctor. You've killed him!
I think not, my child. This is only his 9th body. He has many, many more. Behold, the miracle of the Time Lord.
Sorry about that. I thought I'd just slip into something more comfortable. Result, cute, sexy, and a lick of the mirror handsome. I remember you did it.
And you still fear me, Doctor?
You're the camp one.
I'm not camped.
Nice tits.
Bumps.
You got it, promise. And, you're my fiancé?
You remember me then?
Could I possibly forget the only time-traveling companion I ever had?
You've had lots of companions.
The only time-traveling companion I've had.
All right.
It's still me in here. These old hearts are still yours. Can you still love me, my new body?
Actually, I don't think I have too much of a problem with that. Back to the TARDIS.
The electronic beam controller is going to explode. Help us, Doctor, and your life will be spared.
What better way to end my career than saving you little kids? Pop to the TARDIS. Get a bottle of good champagne. When you come out, we'll start celebrating the beginning of our new life together.
Great.
I think my new body is particularly good. Rewiring.
You're my fiancé, aren't you? Oh dear. You can be a bit shy of girls now. The problems of changing personas. So unpredictable.
Doctor, look at me.
Really? Oh dear, another girl. I'm not a girl, Doctor. I've told you before. These are Dalek bumps. They can locate etheric beam emissions and everything.
So, you don't want to try again, do you?
That's probably not a bad idea, actually. It wouldn't be too much of a problem. Actually, I think the problem's probably located in this area.
Oh dear, now look at that. I've gone and used up 3 whole bodies in just under a minute. All because I forgot to unplug first. That really was terribly silly of me. Sorry about that, my dear. It's been unfortunate.
Oh, Doctor.
Oh, assistant.
Residual energy. I'm a stupid ass should have realized. The doctor has saved the Daleks. His life will be spared. No. His life is already lost. That was a discharge of pure Zactronic energy. Even a Time Lord cannot survive its terrible power.
But he can just change again, can't you, Doctor?
Afraid not, my dear. Zactronic energy. Too powerful. It has destroyed my ability to regenerate. I'm afraid this is the end. Look after the universe for me. I've put a lot of work into it.
But how can we look after it without you?
I'll explain.
Doctor, listen to me. You can't die. You're too nice. Too brave, too kind, and far, far too silly. You're like Father Christmas, the Wizard of Oz, Scooby-Doo. And I love you very much. And we all need you, and you simply cannot die.
He was the best, the bravest of all my foes. From this day forward, I will renounce evil and follow the path of goodness to honor my fallen foe. The Doctor saved the Daleks. The Daleks, too, will honor their mortal enemy.
He was never cruel and never cowardly, and it'll never be safe to be scared again.
It's impossible. Beyond all known laws of the universe.
Maybe even the universe can't bear to be without the Doctor.
Emma, look. I've got etheric beam locators.
No, Doctor. I'm afraid those are actual breasts.
Are you sure? I think I can see the on switch.
No, Doctor, we have to face facts. You've come back to life, and this time, you're a woman.
Really? I've always wanted to get my hands on one of these.
Unfortunately, I haven't.
Mother's going to get a bit of a surprise at the wedding, isn't she? Do you think we'll both wear white?
I'm afraid, Doctor, and I'm not sure this sentence has ever been used so completely accurately before, but you're just not the man I fell in love with.
Well, never mind. We can still rattle around the universe, fighting monsters and saving planets. What could be more fun? My best friend by my side, my trusty old TARDIS, and of course, my sonic screwdriver. Look, it's got 3 settings.
Don't just stop that.
Doctor, I have to say, you are rather gorgeous.
I'm not bad, am I? Come to think of it, I'm a great deal more attractive than I remember.
Why, thank you.
Tell me, why do they call you the Master?
I'll explain later.
Okay, so we'll have our panelists move up here
Oy.
as I move the camera around and try to figure out how to bring up the lights.
Carefully.
There was a door right over here.
No, this is
A secret
It
door.
goes through there, and they turned them on right there.
Result.
Mood lighting.
Welcome to Doctor After
I
Hours.
almost feel like
Ah.
they're on the on position. Let me switch the camera
First Doctor Who
around.
Team nightclub interview.
I don't know if that's true or not. There's
There's a-
one of
There's a Dr. Burlesque show in D.C., Maryland area.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of.
Oh, there are many Doctor
in
Who
New York,
burlesque
there's a
shows.
Doctor Who bar called.
How many have y'all
They have a
bumps?
TARDIS. It's the actual bathroom.
There was one
All the props are
con.
blue.
I'm not sure what con it was.
Equally transcendent.
Or it might have been in club or something. I can't remember. But they had told most people that all these guys were laying up at this blue box because they told them it was the restroom, and the guys were just standing there waiting for the other guy to come out, and they never did.
That's just a television in there.
Okay. Okay. So, especially for the people that have never seen this before, up here, what did you guys think of Curse of the Fatal Death? We'll start down there with you, Mr. Ross.
Oh my god. Oh god, it's like Rowan Atkinson just can't get enough of the fart jokes, can he? It's like the Summer Olympics all over again.
Oh my, right.
Yeah. That that was I was not expecting a send-off like that at all.
Wow, Mr. Ross.
Speechless.
That's impressive.
That's a first.
And keep in mind, that's 10 years after Doctor Who had been on air. Like, basically since Survival had aired, it was 10 years, and I guess 3 years since the Enemy Within showed up in the States.
And the opening TARDIS screenshot was from the TV movie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. One of my many factoids I have about this
Many
episode.
factoids.
Yes.
And of course, our time tunnel is from the Fourth Doctor.
Yes.
Going into that, and we did get his face, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that was neat. That actually answered more questions about Doctor Who, because I think maybe even at that point in time, I wasn't 100% sure what the thing with regeneration was, because I had seen the '96 movie and not fully understood what I had seen. So that was helpful, I guess.
So,
what do you think Curse of the Fatal Death was helpful?
Are we going down?
no, let's go to Mr. Long first.
It was plenty amusing. There were some good jokes. The trick for me was I best know Jonathan Pryce from playing Elliot Carver, the villain in Tomorrow Never Dies,
Yeah.
which is a pretty good Bond movie. And so every time he spoke, I was thinking James Bond, not the Master.
Wasn't he also in the Pirates of the Caribbean?
He was the father, but he's also
I
in
don't know.
Brazil.
Okay.
He's the protagonist in Brazil.
He's also in Jumping Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg.
Ooh,
Right.
He plays the spy in that.
exciting.
Yeah, he plays the James Bond spy in
You
that.
guys are all saying this. All I'm hearing is whoa, over and over and over in my head.
Well, I'd always heard about these, though. I'd always heard about the episodes. It's the first time I've seen it. So I enjoyed it. And, you have to keep it in context with the time, like Drew was saying, that it had been 10 years.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a great blend of the humor of the show and the campiness of the show, but yet the ongoing story of Doctor. So you got like everything in there, and you can really see hints of Moffat in there, which I had no idea Stephen Moffat had written it. So really a great thing with the whole time. The Master falls into the tunnels. So that shows like how great Moffat can write for time, which I think that's one of his strong points. So.
Also the recognition of the kind of Doctor Who tropes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you later, the maniacal laughter.
The Daleks.
The Daleks.
I'll tell you later.
Actually, the dialects and the Time Raiders were both from fan productions of, I forget what it's called, Devios or Diveros. It was a dialect thing that they did at the time. But yeah, they borrowed props from fan productions because they had already scrapped and destroyed everything at that
They're
time.
all
Yeah.
sitting in rivers.
Well, and like we heard this past weekend at Mysticon when Peter Davison was talking about Time Crash,
Yeah.
how they actually took his jacket out of the museum case or something because the BBC couldn't afford
Yeah.
The Doctor Who experience,
props.
yeah.
So, yeah.
They had to build him another celery.
I think somebody crocheted it for him.
There you
Crocheted
go.
celery,
Yeah.
there you go. Nice.
But was there anything you particularly disliked about this Red Nose special?
I think it's supposed to be that campy, and so like he was saying, it took the quirk of it and kind of took it over 9,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They come on, farting languages, 900 years fighting your way out of the
Yeah,
sewer.
but the interesting thing is, like, every actor that they got for the various doctors had all been considered for the role of the Doctor at some point, except for the FF girl, which I forget what her name is.
Lumley?
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
that-
Joanna Lumley.
yeah, she's the only one. But I mean, the one guy that was the shy doctor, he might have been the fifth Doctor. He was one of the potentials besides Davison to get that part of the fifth Doctor. I think they chose wisely.
Was he Mother in the American remake of the Avengers? Does that ring a bell? Am I the only one?
No, he was in
Sean Connery,
Harry
Weather
Potter,
Machine.
right?
Yeah, he was in one of the Potters.
Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
Jim Broadbent.
Broadbent, yeah.
He was also in Indiana Jones and the Crystal King of the Crystal Skull.
Indiana Jones versus the aliens?
There is no,
Yeah.
no. There is no such movie. We should be grateful that no sequels were ever made for the three
He was
Indiana
in
Jones films.
Moulin Rouge. He was in,
been a
I've
lot.
seen that, I'm
Yeah,
a
we
girl.
say that.
Cloud Atlas. Harry Potter as Horace Slughorn. I'm looking at this Wikipedia article and it's not really telling me too much other than that.
Wait, they seriously considered Rowan Atkinson for the role as the Doctor, though?
You know, at one point they on numerous occasions have considered him to play the part of the Doctor.
Never mind
A number of times.
Blackadder was
I think
one
he
of
can
those.
pull it off.
You know, as funny as this was, I mean, they really did kind of close out the series. They went through the Doctors, they killed them all.
Yep.
You got your regenerations, and then that one thing, which is part of the new series, they've always wanted, well, I guess Moffat has always wanted like a female Doctor or something. So you got it all.
Sure. Yeah, the Daleks have been officially defeated. They present. The Master is about to.
I don't really think I can think of Mr. Bean now. Doctor.
But
It's
Hugh
Black.
Grant.
Yes, but at this point, he's so well established as a comic actor that it wouldn't make sense to cast him as the Doctor unless you were trying to do
Just
a
trying to be Dr.
spoof.
Slapstick.
Yeah, unless you were trying to do, the David Niven, Peter Sellers take on Casino Royale.
Yes, please.
Kind of thing. But I don't think they want to do that because it's too much of a cash cow.
I can't remember if I said this at the beginning of the episode, but Hugh Grant was actually the person they went to first to play the part of the Doctor as the Ninth Doctor instead of Eccleston. He was the first person that because when Davies was relaunching it, he envisioned Grant as
They
the
went with the
Doctor.
actors with the big
Yeah.
noses
You want-
for the Ninth Doctor, it seems.
So when you want a big star who has some name recognition,
Yeah.
pulling people to the new series.
And he basically said no, and he says that's one of his biggest regrets is not saying yes to that role.
That and getting caught with a prostitute in the car. That's probably is a little higher up there.
It's his companion.
He was married to Liz Hurley.
He was pretending he was the Doctor.
Yeah.
They were say they were playing doctors.
They were playing Doctor and Companion. So that clank.
No.
Well, I think we also have to keep this in context with time of when this came out. What, 99?
Yeah.
99.
So 10 years after the show went off the air, and the movie, I mean, I know people give a hard time to the movie and everything, but I'm telling you what, as a Doctor Who fan, oh my gosh, I just ate it up. I mean, it's just like, more Doctor Who, please, so at that, people who are Doctor Who star, when you get that, I mean, you'll take it.
And what
you
people
know?
don't realize is the TV movie was the second highest rated show that evening. The first thing happened to be the World Series.
No, there was one more.
Was there one more?
There was the series finale of Roseanne. Roseanne came, blew everybody out of the water. That World Series Roseanne.
But I mean, still, number 3 on Fox, TV movie. I mean,
5.6 million.
that's not a bad.
Did
a
better
bad
than
thing.
Nick Fury with David Hasselhoff.
I don't know. There's something about the Hoff playing Fury. And also one other thing you have to realize: this was for the Comic Relief. It was part of the Red Nose thing, and they pretty much threw it together, I think, in like 3 months. Because basically they came to because Moffat's wife works for the BBC, and they're like, we need somebody to do something for the special, and do you have any ideas? So she actually went to Stephen and was like, hey, would you like to do something? What would you like to do? He said, Doctor Who. She said, let me check. And they said, sure, go with it. Because there's actually a really fascinating documentary that goes with this. Because I never realized, I'd seen this years and years ago, I had no idea Moffat had even been involved. But after watching that interview, it's classic Moffat all the way through this thing. But yeah, no, and honestly, this is the thing that really got people's BBC realizing that, hey, Doctor Who might be popular, because this was the highest rated red-nose special they had in years. Everybody tuned into it. It just, and they're like, wow. And that's what started the whole, let's do some more web series, let's test the water, which led up to Davies getting the job. So, I mean, and a lot of our, you know, we have Stephen Moffat, of all people, to thank for the revival of Doctor Who.
He's definitely a part of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Now, this was a two-parter. This aired on the same night. How was it?
This aired originally broadcast at March 12th, 1999.
They did it at the beginning, and then they finished up the red nose with
That's what
it.
it says on
I
Wikipedia.
believe you.
Yeah.
You're just fast with the answers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have all this stuff printed out, but I left it all in
And
the
interesting
car.
enough, they did release The Curse of Fatal Death on VHS. It was in the same format as the box sets of the other Doctor Who specials. Wow. That's how I saw it for the first time, was in I think 2001. Somebody had a VHS of it, we sat down and watched it. So
And it's one of the few that actually made it here to the States, unlike Dimensions in Time and a few of the others.
So I'm guessing they showed this at different points, because they said it was during a telethon. So
Yeah.
That's what the red nose
they
is.
showed it at one, and then they showed the.
So, Drew, should we, I think we should turn a little here now, since we've sort of talked about Curse of the Fatal Death. Should we talk about the news items that were released, I think either yesterday or today?
Midnight last night.
I am all in favor, though we should say, if we are talking about this upcoming series, is that what we're talking about?
Oh, that's what we're talking about. 7B.
7B. If you don't want to have the titles of 7B spoiled for you,
Just
Look
the
at
titles,
Kelly.
titles of the episodes. That's it.
they actually don't give away.
They don't give anything away.
Yeah, it's just the
I
titles.
respect the writers. They work so hard to surprise us. So I spoiled episode 1 and 2 for myself. So I just kind of bring it on.
Well, see,
I'm good to go.
this is what I say. Ever since I started the show, I stay away from all the sites. I only stick to like the official BBC press releases and things like that, because I don't want to be spoiled. I want to be surprised when I do an episode, and I think Drew's about the same way. You know, we like to be surprised. Though, you know, if they give us a trailer or something like that, I will dissect that trailer inside and out to know every little thing about it. So, Drew, do you remember the title list?
I don't. Not off the top of my head.
No, that's why I have the smartphone right
Okay,
here.
good. Oh, right. So, yeah.
Okay. Do you want to start with the first title?
Sure. The
Okay.
Bells of St. John is going to be the first one. Of course, St. John being the name that's on the outside of the TARDIS, that little seal that says St. John's Ambulance. So that will be 7B. That will be our first official episode with Jenna Louise Coleman as the companion she will be playing in there. Finally. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Or so they have said. It will be the Jenna Louise Coleman that we get for the rest of the series.
I think she's going to die in every episode.
Oh my God! They killed Clara.
I hope not. They already did.
Horrible person, because we're British.
Oh.
That's what they're gonna do.
But I will say this. Originally, they had been hinting at an Easter special for Doctor Who. And, of course, the special ends up being 7B, which is really, really exciting. So we actually get a start. I'll let you pronounce the next one, because I cannot pronounce this to save the life of
I
me.
need to see a picture. Let me see the. Give me your
I'll
phone.
pronounce it for you.
Yeah, I can't. It's dyslexic boy here knows when he's
Okay.
beat.
The Rings of Akaten. I guess that's how it's pronounced. Akaten.
Yeah, the Rings of Akhten, they're, I'm presuming, making a play on Akhenaten, the Egyptian pharaoh who attempted to convert ancient Egypt to monotheism.
The Akhenaten? Akhenaten, yeah. That'll be interesting. Though, is it too soon after Dinosaurs in a Spaceship? Could we
Too soon?
could we get the Queen Nefertiti back? I mean, it sounds like a fairly Egyptian name.
If she scored high enough on popularity, if she scored high enough on popularity polls, yeah, they'll find a way to bring her back.
Yeah, they will.
And she was pretty cool.
Well, we are actually getting a reunion of one of the actresses that played in Tennant's Run, supposedly in 7B.
We are? Yeah.
Yes.
We
Would
got
you like to know who that is? I'll just give you a hint. The girl in the fireplace.
Oh.
Oh,
See,
I
here
know
they go
something.
again with too much of a good. That's one of the best episodes ever, and now they're going to ruin it by trying to.
Well, we don't know.
Not the same character.
Can I say, since you guys were talking about Queen Nefertiti, Akaten was her husband.
Yes, Akhenaten was.
Or
Nefertiti
yeah,
was
sorry.
I did not know
her
that.
husband.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so 7A, I can actually pronounce this one,
Historical.
is the Cold War.
This is possibly the one I am most excited about.
Really, you've changed your mind which one you're most excited about?
I think so. I think so.
This is the one I'm most excited about.
Why are you so excited about it?
I'm excited because it's one Mark Gatiss script, and I'm still very much in favor of Gatiss being the next showrunner. Not anytime soon, but
That's
I
why.
am.
Okay. Okay.
And I really like claustrophobic movies.
Yes.
And so the idea of a horror story that takes place in a 1983 Soviet-era submarine.
Can I say who the
We're
possible
getting
thing
a
is
couple
for this
more
one?
Gatiss for this.
This is the one I'm most excited about. I'm even more excited about this than the Neil Gaiman episode.
Yeah.
They're bringing back, hopefully, this is the episode where they bring back a classic Who monster.
It's not even hopefully, it's definite.
Yeah.
We have
The Ice
confirmation.
Warriors.
They're bringing back the Ice Warriors, and the images of the Ice Warriors are online. BBC has released them if you want to see pictures of them.
Yes. They are definitely much more frightening than they were before in Trotman's era.
So the hint, there was an interview with the director of this episode during Gallifrey 1. He didn't give anything away other than saying that the Ice Warriors were going to be doing something we had never seen them do before. And conjecture, what's that?
I like your guess.
The Doctor effectively?
Threaten the
Yes.
Doctor. No, I would say that the Ice Warriors have, well, not the Warriors themselves, but the commanders were fairly devious. Chris, did you want to add something on that?
Oh, I was just joking. You said when, but
the Seeds of Doom, and actually both of the Peladons, but I don't want to spoil by giving those things away. My guess was that perhaps we would see them remove their armor. I thought that would be kind of cool to see.
I like the other thing you said.
Would they have something involving cold? Because the Ice Warriors have been in not Arctic temperatures for the most part. We get a hint with something of what they could do in the waters of Mars when they actually refer to the original inhabitants of the planet. So that would have been pretty cool.
Okay. The next one is Phantoms of the Hex.
Or The Hinder in the House. There's two titles.
This is the haunted house episode, and that's all anyone has said on it.
Well, also though, remember we read Claire the audition stuff for Clara, and it was a ghost story. And so far, this is the only one that seems to be a ghost story.
Yeah.
So this may be what they released that small little snippet of her audition for.
And like I said, back when we were talking about it, Moffat is that devious to give us a piece of a script ahead of time
and then let us
wonder about it. Then we get probably one of the other two most looked forward to episodes this season.
Is this the Journey to the Center? Journey to the Center of the TARDIS. The only Doctor Who fanfic I have ever written involves this, because I thought the Invasion of Time was so brilliant, the idea that there's an entire city inside the TARDIS in one form or another, and we haven't explored it in any episodes other than Invasion of Time. And I'm really thinking that it'd be very cool to see how this works. But
is this the Neil Gaiman episode?
No.
It's not the Neil Gaiman.
So
It would be very cool if that was.
Yeah.
The reason I'm more excited, I think, for the Ice Warriors one is that I have such high expectations for this. It really sets up to something. And wouldn't it be beautiful if it was a Neil Gaiman episode? I can see that style.
That sounds like an
well.
idea he would have that would tree off of the Doctor's wife.
So it could be great.
Yeah.
It could be not so great. So
now the interesting thing about this is the fact that they have now built at least one TARDIS interior, if not a second one for Adventures in Time and Space. Could they be using these TARDIS interiors for this episode?
Oh, you're saying? Well, here's the thing. They wrapped on this one quite a few months back.
Oh, had they? I wasn't sure if they'd wrapped this one.
They had, yeah. They've wrapped. I think they've wrapped all of them because and they have a month break before they start filming one of the 50th anniversary specials. But have you guys seen the color photos of the interior of the 63 TARDIS from Adventures in Space and Time?
I've not seen
I've only seen the black and
I
white.
think I may have seen
They released
one.
the colors this week, and they are gorgeous. So you get to see David Bradley as Hartnell, and all the other actors who I don't know them outside of their roles of these characters, so I don't really know who they are, but dressed up in this beautiful setting. And there's some conjecture that we might see something along these lines for the 50th anniversary special.
Yeah.
Not so much in the Journey to the Center TARDIS. I would be happy if we got hints at some of the other desktop themes. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, then we have for 7-Eleven, The Crimson Horror, another Mark Gatiss script.
Crimson Horror is a Victorian murder mystery. It will be taking place in Victorian London, and as we've seen in the coming soon trailers, so if you have watched the Christmas episode, you see this, it will also be the return of Vostra, Jenny, and Strax. So,
I'm
for
excited
how
for
much
that.
we don't know, but we have confirmation that they will be in that episode.
And the next one.
Yeah, they need their own show.
I want to do the next one. What
Okay.
you got? Sorry.
No, I'm
Oh,
just
they need to
saying-
show.
I'm just
The
saying
last
you need to-
Cybermen, the Neil Gaiman episode.
So we'll
And if you watch the trailer, they have a new design,
Yes.
which I'm very excited about, and I'm hoping some more Cybermats.
No, Cybermen.
that would be
I
interesting.
still want a mouse that's a Cybermat. Come on, BBC.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
Do it.
Absolutely.
Do it.
I'm told that the actors really like these new costumes a little better. There's a little bit more movement with them, so that's got to be, it's still going to be hideous to be strapped into something like that for a while.
I mean, with like what Davison said this past weekend, one thing he liked about his Cybermen, you can still see their mouths moving.
Yes.
And that's one thing I've always liked about the Cybermen, I think more than Dialux, is that, with each incarnation, you really saw the human aspect be removed and become more cybernetic as they go along, which I've always thought was really, really cool with them. Because with the Dialux, we just saw the end product, we never saw the evolution.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Cybermen, we have gotten a chance to see the evolution of this monster, of this species, which I would love to see happen again. And actually, I would love to see some of the classic Cybermen come back in like the 50th anniversary.
I think that'd be cool to see some of the older costumes come back.
Yeah.
I'll state, I'm a fan of the very first ones, as ridiculous as they are, and I'm looking forward to seeing the 10th Planet animated with the regeneration scene, just to get those classic, the ones where you can actually see human hands, and because that's what's terrifying about the Cybermen. They were human beings who adapted to their planet. They're just kind of killer robots, and there are better killer robots out there, robots of death. And so
That's such a great episode.
Such a great episode, and that's the one I believe that the Fourth Doctor episode they're going to release for the BFI for the theater releases, which will be kind of cool.
And now this is the most
It's a good
interesting of
self-contained story.
all the titles.
Oh my gosh! I'm sorry.
It's called Untitled.
Yes, it's untitled, but I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
She saw who the casting is.
I'm excited. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone that may not want to know.
Pass me the phone,
A
I'm
character
curious.
who may be coming back.
I just have
in
to
this
know.
Episode.
That makes sense.
Yes.
I would give them that.
Is that why they're keeping it untitled?
I think so.
To give it
Probably.
away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now I gotta know.
So-
Oh, God.
You know something? I knew that was going to be Steve's response when he found out.
Look, I would love to hear one other character in there.
You want Captain
I
Jack
can
in
think
there.
of
Oh my
many-
gosh, I want Captain Jack back so bad.
Is that what we're
Oh my
talking about?
gosh.
Oh,
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Um,
Oh, I want Captain Jack back so bad.
We're also going to get, and I can't remember if it's I wanted to say it was Crimson. There's two more?
No, that's it.
That's it?
That's all of them. Until the 50th.
I think it's, no, I forgot. I think it's the Crimson Horror, even though it's a Victorian story. I believe we are going to be getting Diana Rigg and her daughter,
That would rock.
Sterling.
Oh
I
yeah,
forgot her
that's
name.
right. They,
Yeah,
they are
Rachel.
coming. Yeah.
Rachel Sterling are going to be in, I think it's the Crimson Horror.
That's gonna be
Which-
awesome.
Oh, she's still gorgeous.
Yes.
She's still gorgeous, and any adventure fan.
So I have a
And
question.
honestly, if they can do a good mystery, that could be a lot of fun. Like
Great.
Black Orchid, for example, could have been so much better. The mystery is so simplistic that it doesn't go anywhere.
Well, and with Black Orchid, it's a two-part episode
Yeah.
too, so we don't get bogged down in kind of the minutia of
Yeah.
having to spread it over 4 episodes.
So
Yeah, and I think that's a strength, but still, it's so obvious. The second they say my son was lost in the Amazon, well, okay, now we know who the guy is in the room.
But it's still just spoiler. There's this guy in the room, but there's still the way they actually do it is well done.
question: do you think they're going to be hinting at? I mean, this is for all of you guys. Do you think they're going to start hinting at what we're going to get out of the 50th, or do you throughout these episodes? Do you think he's going to start building the 50th here?
This Moffat.
I would be
With
surprised
Muppet.
if we did at least get some commercials, or something hinting at it. Sure, that's just good showmanship.
You might get a one-liner here or there, maybe,
Yeah.
just something. You'll be like, you won't recognize it at the time, but when you get to the 50th, like,
Yeah.
oh,
That's what he was referring to. Yeah.
Do you think they're going to build? Do you think they're going to build any more on his family with more references to Susan?
We'll have to see.
I would
Let's
love
hope
to
not.
see something. No, you wouldn't like nothing with Susan.
No.
Telling us
Grandfather? You don't want to see her.
Let's just pretend there was something
grandfather.
odd going on and not because it doesn't work.
Oh, come on,
It
don't
doesn't
you
work.
want a teenager running around after Matt Smith going, but grandfather?
Yes, but she's not going to be a teenager.
The
Yeah,
problem
no,
is
maybe she
that the Doctor,
regenerated.
in essence,
Dalek bumps.
is an epic hero at this point, and the epic hero doesn't get to have the nice, easy life. The epic hero doesn't get to enjoy the world he creates. Frodo doesn't get to enjoy Middle-earth after he destroys the ring. Captain Sisko doesn't get to enjoy the Federation after he defeats the Dominion. It just, Beowulf dies.
Oh my God, Drew! Really? That was awesome.
If at this point in time you can't call spoilers on something that's
No, I
15 years old.
I agree. It just shocks me that
Yeah.
he didn't know that.
I had somebody call me spoilers on The Lord of the Rings. I'm like, it was published in 1954. Get over it. But that's just the way it works. The Doctor is apart from what he's creating. That's part of what makes him an epic hero. And I don't think he should have a family, or if you're going to give him any kind of a love interest, honestly, what I'd like to see them do is have Moffat bring back their Ronnie and make her the interesting character that she could be.
No, I still think, Romana, out of all of them.
Oh, well, yeah, but the problem is Mary Tam is dead, and there is no other Romana. Don't try to convince me otherwise.
Well,
They
keep
should
in
have
mind,
given
when
her
you-
what
when
she
you-
wanted to keep her on the show, which is wrong.
Well, I mean, it was
When
also,
you're dealing with any kind of Time Lord, we can get regenerations. Of course, sometimes we end up with, well, anyway. But,
Sorry.
if they're going to bring back either one of them, you can bring back the Ronnie easily. You can bring back Romana easily.
Yeah. I'm just
For all we
saying, I
know,
think
Jenna
that
Louise
Ronnie has a
Coleman
lot
is,
of
is a
potential that they
future
never-
version of a female Doctor, so,
Valyard.
The Valyard. I'm still in favor of the Valyard. I want, during the 12th and 13th regeneration, to get a flash of Michael Jaston. Just something that recognizes the fact that something could go wrong. I think it's a brilliant plot device. I think we're all aware that nobody ever is going to limit the Doctor to 13 regenerations. That's stupid.
Well, especially nowadays too. They've
Yeah.
already said they've written it out. It's
Yeah.
not just 12.
Yeah.
So I would
BBC
love
likes
to see-
money.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
You don't
It
kill
was a
them because it's like
limitation.
golden
Exactly.
times.
But in the one with the Matrix and the shooting, Deadly Assassin. In the Deadly Assassin, they say that the limitations are imposed by the Time Lords. You can get more regeneration.
Yeah.
That's what the Master's trying to do the
well,
entire
the 5
time.
doctors. Hey, go help the Doctor. We'll reboot your regenerations.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean-
it almost seems like it's not exactly like discrete packets of, regeneration. You have because as we saw earlier on in season 7, it can just kind of be used.
It can, but they also indicated that there was a finite amount of it.
Right, because we saw River,
Yeah.
burn
But
off
of course,
all-
without specifying exactly what the limitations are there, they
Yeah.
free themselves up to get the best of both worlds.
Right.
No pun
And
intended.
also, I mean, if you go back in time to, the McCoy run and other things, I mean, they've hinted that, the Doctor isn't exactly who the Doctor says he is. I mean, what I've always pulled from the show, and I mean, this is just me interpreting stuff, these have always been my 2 theories, is one, that either the Doctor's the Master or the Master's the Doctor. I always thought that was really cool. I came up with that when I was a little kid. Because the way they always played off each other, I wasn't sure, which one came first. That was just me as a little kid. But I think even better still is I think he was there when Rassilon and Omega, created time travel. I think he's much more important of a figure than anybody realizes. And he likes breaking the rules. But that's just how I've interpreted what they've shown me on TV. That wasn't me reading, because back when I was a kid, there was no internet. There weren't a lot of kids for me to discuss Doctor Who with. This is just stuff I extrapolated from what I saw of the show, and I think that's what I've always loved about the show. So you get a group of people watch it, and they're all going to pull something different. They're all going to find something that they're drawn to more so than any other person watching the show at the time.
Unfortunately, this is a discussion that we're going to have to
Yes,
leave
for another
time because we have to make way for the next panel that is coming in this room. So thank you guys very
you guys
much
so
for
much.
coming.
Aw.
And
Thank you guys
thank you for
so
sitting
much.
through our Curse of Fatal Death special episode live from Illogicon. I mean StellarCon.
Wait, MissyCon? What the hell con? Or is
You're
it
just gonna
StellarCon?
have to start your own.
Live from
Who do you
StellarCon
want?
in Greensboro,
Yeah.
North Carolina.
It's Friday night.
Drew, I think somebody just gave us a theme for a con to run.
Gave you? It's pretty obvious.
Guys, we need to go.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta go. They're throwing us out.